The Icons of Real Estate Podcast. Are you ready to learn the proven money-making secrets from top-producing Icon agents? Ready to skyrocket your business? This podcast is for you. Tune in every week with your host, Tomasz Fonseca, and find out how to implement proven strategies to 10 times your business, from $3 million to $30 million in just 12 months. Brought to you by the Masters in Real Estate Marketing, Arter SEO.
Welcome to another episode of the Icons of Real Estate podcast, where we highlight top professionals who are making waves in the industry. Now, I'm your host, Karen Robertson, and today I have Joey Martin with me. He is a hometown success from Central South Carolina, from $20,000 fixer-uppers to multi-million-dollar estates. Joey leads one of the Southeast's most trusted real estate teams with deep local roots and a passion for people. He's built a reputation across Clemson, Anderson, Greenville, and beyond. So let's dive into his journey, mindset, and the secrets behind his lasting success. Welcome to the show, Joey.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
So let's go back, your backstory, right? What first inspired you to pursue a career in real estate, especially growing up in Central South Carolina?
Well, it was never a planned thing. So I the whole backstory, I mean, I can go pretty far into it, but I come from extremely humble beginnings. My mom worked in a textile mill, for 36 years until she retired. My father was disabled, agoraphobic, bipolar, manic depressive. So lots of strange things happening at home, growing up. And so advice from parents was, don't worry about college or anything. You just, go get a job at the mill, get a steady paycheck. I started working from the time I was 14, just because I knew if I wanted, nice things, I was going to have to work hard for them, and because there wasn't any extra money around the house for the extras. And so I've been working since 14. I just kind of after 22 years of marriage, I was 18, I think, still in high school. My parents split, and mom wound up going to a battered woman shelter. My dad went to a mental health institution, leaving me to kind of fend for myself, and took on the family mortgage, and that proved to be, I wasn't mature enough to handle that at the time, but I was job hopping a lot. I was, back then at 18, I drove a beer truck for a while. I worked in a mill, worked in a chemical plant, just kind of floating through life, and didn't really have any direction. And I sold vinyl siding, did door-to-door sales, all sorts of stuff. And but I was doing some side work for one of my best friends. His dad, his name's Jeff Davis. He had this farm, and I was out doing some side work with him, baling hay, and that's some rough labor. And at the end of the day, we were all out by the barn and exhausted, but I was still smiling and carrying on. And so Mr. Davis said, "Joey, with your personality, you'd be great in real estate." And at that point, I didn't even know what that meant. But at being real honest, I was facing foreclosure on my home at the time. Had my car repossessed. I was down to nothing, and so it was a chance for me to make a new start. And so he gave me an opportunity down in Charleston, South Carolina, which is about 3.5 hours from my hometown of Clemson, central area. And so I started as a box mover / assistant, because I'm a big guy, and they gave me all the heavy stuff to lift. But then I realized pretty quickly that this was a business that I really enjoyed. And so I got my real estate license and was promoted within that company to sales executive. And this was really high-end luxury real estate. And so I started in Charleston with that company, went to Orlando, Florida, Lake Oconee, Georgia. Market turned in 2008. So I said, I need to get to a little bit more modest product. So I came back home and took over as director of sales for a company called Patrick Square, and did that for about 3 years. And I started my own company in 2011. So there's a big round, long
Wow.
scenic route to get you there. But in 2011 is when I started my own real estate company.
Awesome. Isn't it interesting? I mean, so you've come from such humble beginnings, but we're not conditioned to have these dreams almost that you can be a success. And we've been taught that you've got to work hard for money. You've got to work hard for money. And I'm not saying in any way, shape, or form that you don't work hard, right? But
Right.
trading time for money in very menial jobs is just a way to survive. So real estate can really open it up. So congratulations on where you've got to. And you work with such a wide range of property types, from starter homes to multi-million dollar estates. So how do you adapt your approach to fit each client's unique needs?
Well, I would say when I first started back in 2011, it was just me, and just then it became me and an assistant. And I was doing very well as an agent on my own. I was also flipping houses. I also bought into a restaurant the same year I started my real estate company. So don't do that, by the way, if you're thinking about it, especially if you're starting from pretty broke. Don't buy a restaurant and real estate office the same year. But you know, so when I first started, I was just kind of flying by the seat of my pants. It was survival mode. I was up at 6:30 every morning going to check on the flip house, going into the office. And then after the office, I'd go to the restaurant and throw on the sports coat and shake hands, kiss babies, and then go host trivia night next door at the bar that was part of the restaurant. So it was very long days. And I looking back at it, I don't know how on earth I did it, honestly, other than just absolute survival. And then eventually things started to catch on. I mean, so other people started to notice. So newer agents started to approach me and ask if I would teach them how to sell real estate. So it started with one or two additional, and then now the team has grown we have a team of 30 agents, and
Wow.
so that's how we're able to adapt. So the agents, certain agents have specific niches that they work, and so I have agents with first time homeowner niches. I have agents that love to work the luxury lake home properties, and I've kind of my focus, what has gotten kind of rekindled my fire for real estate, is over the past 5 years I've gotten into real estate development, so which has really intrigued me. So.
Brilliant. So that's how you've been able to do all these different things, and you're outsourcing in a way, building that
Right.
team so that they can focus on different ones. So what's one memorable experience that you've had helping a buyer or investor see the hidden potential in a property?
See the hidden potential in a property. Well, I mean, as far as more recently, when it comes to land development, I mean, if you look at a piece of raw land, it's sometimes very difficult to see what it could potentially be. One in particular that I can think of was an old kind of dilapidated mobile home park that most of the mobile homes have been condemned and things like that, but I could see past that. I could see a beautiful neighborhood, and that's now going to evolve into something really really amazing, like a master plan neighborhood, over the next few years. So that's one instance. But if I had a preference, I love working with a first time homeowner. That there's no better feeling than someone who never thought they would own a home, or no one in their families ever owned a home, and being able to paint the picture for them and make it a reality for them,
Right.
show them the steps. I mean, there's no better feeling than that.
Awesome. That's where the rewarding side of it comes in. And so
Absolutely.
How has being a local shaped your connection to the community and influenced your success in the market?
I would say it certainly helps that I grew up here. I moved away for about a decade with again Resorts and Clubs, the company that I worked for, and well, not quite a decade, but I came back and so it certainly has helped. But I would say my old friends and family and referrals is probably uh, in the beginning, that was a huge help for my sphere of influence.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would say it was really helpful. But I will say for me, I kind of we're the the industry is so technologically advanced these days,
Mm-hmm.
and shifting from, like, when I started, it was get involved in civic organizations. So I was a member of the Chamber of Commerce and Rotary clubs and Masonic Lodge and all different sorts of things, uh, and just trying to get in front of as many people as I possibly could. And so, you know, that's kind of how I built the company myself. But having to adjust to and progress and try to stay ahead of the curve. Like right now, uh, I'm still obsessed with my business, and so I find myself up trying to train these AI bots that I'm going to be using at some point, and I don't have a clue what I'm doing. Um, uh, but I'm getting there. I'm going to figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, one thing is for certain, and that is change. It's inevitable. You can't fight it. You can't stop it. You've got to go with it. Otherwise, you lose out. So, yeah, well done for going for doing that. That's a massive challenge, isn't it, for many? So
Absolutely.
for where you are, everybody has said, or depending on where they are in the States, that last year was a bit of a challenge. How was it for you and your team? How many transactions do you tend to do in a year? And how did last year end up? Was it okay in the end, or what?
It was overall, I think we came out okay with some of fortunately, we've been blessed to make a connection with a local production home builder, and so that was a really good relationship, partnership there. And so the local home builders here were able to offer some incentives, and not just local home builders. We have local partnerships with like New Story Lending is a local partner that we've worked with. These guys are able to come up with creative financing plans in order to buy the rate down a little bit, so the monthly outlay is not so
Mm.
buy the interest rate down on the loan, so the monthly outlay is not such a burden on the purchaser. So we were down probably about 10% for the year, but we still sold over 300 homes last year.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome. And so what's next for Joey and his team? What are your goals for this year?
Well, I have I had well for this year, um, we're the goals. Let's see, 100 million in sales for this year. Um, the but I've taken folks within the team that want to learn leadership and want to potentially own their own office one day, and we have team leads. So we have 4 team leaders, and we're going to recruit and build up teams around those team leaders, and it'll be a pretty incredible opportunity for a team leader to kind of branch off and already have their team built for them, somewhat,
Ooh,
uh, which will be
fantastic.
really cool. That's not next year, but that's a few years down the road as we continue growing.
Okay, so you're actively recruiting. So, any listeners, who to get in touch with. And look, lastly, because here at Icons, we are not just a podcast, we're the number one real estate podcast network globally, and we're passionate about making podcasting accessible to everybody who is involved in the business of real estate. So, Joey, if you or your team had your own podcast, what do you think you'd call it?
Oh goodness, that's a doozy. Goodness, what would my own podcast be called? Um, let's see. You know, I can't even think of a good name right now. I've actually thought of several, if I ever had one, and I can't. You just got to. I'm just trying to think of something that would really uh, express um, commitment.
Hmm.
And that would really. That's the whole. That's the difference I feel between um, most people that are unsuccessful and successful in real estate is just commitment.
Mm,
Almost an obsessive commitment
right.
to success.
Well, there you go. You've made a commitment and it's worked. So I'm sure you are the one to lead your other team leads to make them just
Yeah.
as successful as you have been. And so finally, look, if anybody wants to reach out, where do they find you? How do they reach out to you?
You can find us. We're on Facebook. Just JW Martin Real Estate. Our website is www.jwmartinhomes.com. You can certainly call to the office, area code 864-722-5558. So that's probably, we're on Instagram too at JW Martin Homes. So yeah,
Awesome.
any of those resources,
Brilliant.
absolutely.
And Joey's details will be in the show notes, so resort back to those. Look, Joey, thank you for taking time out of your very busy day to come and speak with me. And to the listeners, I'll be back next time with the Icons of Real Estate. Bye for now.